Hey everyone, welcome to Wealth Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Reynolds, certified financial planner and owner of Elevation Financial. As always, you can find me on the web at elevationfinancial.com. Can an HSA be used to pay for Medicare premiums? Let's find out. Health savings accounts, or HSAs for short, are pretty powerful. They're a really high-powered, tax advantage tool in personal finance. They offer what's called a triple tax benefit, is the term that a lot of people use. Contributions going in are tax deductible, the growth is tax free, and the withdrawals are tax free as well when used for qualified medical expenses. But what happens when you transition to Medicare? Can you still use your HSA? And more specifically, can you use it to pay for Medicare premiums? The short answer is yes, but there are some important rules and limitations, which we will go over. So first, let's do a quick review of how an HSA works, just as a kind of a backdrop. So before we dive into Medicare, we'll do that first. So to contribute to an HSA, you have to be enrolled in a high deductible health plan. The contributions going in are tax deductible, and the funds inside your HSA can be invested and grow tax-free. Withdrawals for qualified medical expenses, things like doctor visits, prescriptions, healthcare stuff, those are also tax-free. So an often overlooked benefit of the HSA is there's no use it or lose it rule. So it's not like a flexible spending account or an FSA. In contrast, your HSA funds roll over year after year. They stay in your account and they can be used even well into retirement. So it's yours, never goes away until you use it. So let's talk Medicare. What happens to your HSA when you enroll in Medicare? Once you enroll in Medicare, which is typically at age 65, you can't contribute to an HSA anymore. And that's a really important point to remember. Contributions to an HSA have to stop the first month you were enrolled in any part of Medicare, including Part A, which is going to be typically automatic if you're receiving Social Security. However, you can continue to use the funds in your HSA for qualified medical expenses, including certain Medicare premiums. So, which Medicare premiums can you pay with an HSA? A little bit of a nuance here. You can use your HSA funds to pay for the following: Medicare Part B premiums. That's the portion that covers doctor visits and outpatient care. Part D premiums, which is prescription drug coverage. And Part C, if you opt in for a Medicare Advantage plan, which is going to be a whole different thing. However, you cannot use your HSA to pay for Medigap premiums. That's Medicare supplement insurance, like Part G, for example. Those supplemental plans are designed to cover out-of-pocket costs that traditional Medicare does not cover. So the distinction is really important. If you plan to purchase a Medigap policy, which is pretty common, those premiums still need to be paid out of pocket or from other savings, not from your HSA. So parts B, D, and C, you can use HSA to pay for. Medigap, you cannot. All right, can you reimburse yourself for Medicare premiums? Yes, you can reimburse yourself from your HSA for Medicare premiums you've paid out of pocket, assuming they're eligible, like Part B or Part D, for example. Just keep a clear record of payments and make sure the reimbursement happens in the same tax year, unless you're using HSA funds to reimburse yourself for expenses incurred in a prior year when the account was active and eligible. All right, what about spouse Medicare premiums? If your spouse is enrolled in Medicare and you have an HSA in your name, you can use your HSA to pay for their qualified medical expenses, including Medicare premiums. That's a great way to stretch out the value of your HSA, especially if one of you's built up a significant balance. So ultimately, HSAs are pretty strategic. They can be used in lots of different ways. They're very flexible. And just be aware that once you're no longer eligible to contribute, the account can still be used. Again, it's not a use it or lose it. Your account's always there. In fact, some people intentionally let their HSA balance grow by paying current medical expenses out of pocket and saving the receipts, because later in life, you can reimburse yourself tax-free, potentially even years after the expense occurred. And that can effectively turn your HSA into a tax-free retirement account for medical costs. Pretty powerful. All right, quick note. What happens if you use your HSA funds for non-medical? So after age 65, if you withdraw HSA funds for non-medical expenses, the 20% penalty goes away. However, the withdrawal will be counted as ordinary income and taxed as ordinary income, similar to a traditional IRA. So that means you want to prioritize medical use for your HSA if possible, because Again, those are tax-free withdrawals. Gives you some flexibility. A word on timing when it comes to Medicare. So if you're planning to retire and sign up for Medicare mid-year, be careful about when you stop contributing to your HSA, because Medicare Part A can be retroactive for up to 6 months. If you're over 65, you could accidentally over contribute and face penalties if you don't plan ahead. So consider stopping HSA contributions at least 6 months before your Medicare enrollment date to avoid that issue. So wrapping up, just kind of the summary. Can HSA funds be used to pay for Medicare premiums? Yes, but only for specific parts. Part B, Part D, Medicare Advantage premiums, all of those things can be paid for with HSA funds. Medigap premiums cannot be paid for with HSA. So that's the exception. So make sure you understand how to use your HSA strategically, and you can really use that as a great supplemental tool. It's a great retirement account. It's a great medical account. It's a great hybrid account. Very flexible, including for Medicare premiums. So be aware of that. So with that, as always, please feel free to reach out if you have questions about this or anything else. You can find me on my website at elevationfinancial.com. You can hit me up on social, or you can, better yet, book a free consultation if you want to chat in real time. And you can do that on my website, which again, elevationfinancial.com. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.